What is up, NASCAR racing fans? You're watching the NASCAR Nitro Series on the HSL Diecast Racing channel. Today we're qualifying for the modified Roll Tide 499 at Talladega Superspeedway. Both the stock qualifying and the stock race brought a ton of fireworks out, so the bar is set super high for the modified. And just like in the stock qualifying, the higher seed gets the middle lane because it doesn't make any contact with the walls of the funnel chute. And today we're going to kick it off with the Go Birds car of Szechuan Broccoli going up against our points leader Clyde. The gates are down for the first round of qualifying. And look at this, it's a dead heat heading towards the bottom of the split track. Clyde, with the slightest of advantages, heads into the funnel chute, side drafts Szechuan Broccoli to take a 2-car length lead heading to the finish line. Clyde's moving on to the next round. And up next we have Hurt So Good, one of the reasons this track is called the Roll Tide 499, going up against Burt Buzzard. And look at this, Burt Buzzard with a full track segment lead before they even get to the bottom of the ramp. Straight as an arrow through the middle of the funnel chute, gets a little squirrely on the front stretch, but does not lose that much time. Wins by almost the entire length of the back stretch, and there Hurt So Good finally crosses the line. And now let's see if Sloppy Bear has anything for Lucky Jackson. The gates are down. Lucky Jackson jumps to a 2-car length lead before gaining even more ground over Sloppy Bear on the fat track. Both of them running the lap pretty smoothly. Sloppy Bear playing it safe to make it into the race. He's had a string of DNQs, but he makes it in here. Now Lucky Jackson moves on to the round of 16. Let's see whether Chef Squid or Gale Force can join him. And this time it looks like Gale Force, leading by a track segment before they even hit the fat track. Both of them smooth through the funnel chute. Chef Squid gains a little bit of ground in the turns, but it's not enough. It's going to be Gale Force moving on to the round of 16. Not a lot of upsets so far. Let's see if Christy can be the first one. Her and Gray side by side heading into the bottom of the ramp and into the funnel chute. Still side by side to the finish line. Gray side drafts Christy, leaves her hung up on the guardrail at the very last second. She's going to have to race her way in the second chance race now. A tough break for her, trying to change her season around, go all out for the pole. Just an unfortunate stroke of bad luck in a season full of it. Now let's see which one of these drivers can avoid that fate. Hopefully neither of them beaches themselves on the wall here, but it looks like it's going to be Puff, unless he makes a mistake here moving on to the next round. He's got a track segment lead over Lord Shank. And yes, it is going to be Puff. Lord Shank crosses the line, locks himself in. Still no upsets from the inner lane. Let's see if Mike Honcho can be the first one. He does have FTEs, and they're side by side heading into the funnel chute. They're bumping fenders, and the lighter Harry Hoon bounces off of him. Takes the lead in the corner, doesn't look back. Beats him by 2-car lanes. So now we have the Owlman going up against Po' Boy, and the gates are down. Po' Boy gets a great launch from the start. He's got a half a track segment lead over the Owlman heading into the funnel chute. Owlman gets loose, exits the funnel chute too fast, starts sliding around and loses all of his momentum in the corner. He'll only have one more chance to make the race. If he does, that'll be the third race that he misses this year, but the first in his new car. Now let's see if J-Bo and Gavin McSpadge can avoid that fate. J-Bo flawless through the funnel chute. Gavin McSpadge not so much, but he regains control of his car. J-Bo moves on to the next round. And up next we have Heather going up against Bill Z Bub. The points differences between the two drivers are getting tighter the further we go into the round of 32. The gates are down. Heather, your Daytona 500 winner, fast as lightning at the other restrictor plate track on the schedule, wins it by 2 track segments. And now we have the teammates of Casey Kane and Lord Raymond going up against one another. Lord Raymond gets a great jump out of the middle lane. He's had the speed. He's been to 4 main events, but still looking for his first career podium. He beats out his teammate Casey Kane once again by 2 track segments. And up next we have Misty G going up against Giorgio. Giorgio's got a ton of momentum heading into this race, coming off of his very first main event appearance. But it looks like we got to wait a little bit longer for the first upset as Giorgio gets loose heading out of the turns and he stalls on the track. He'll have to race his way in. And up next we have Gaza going up against William. William, your stock points leader, looking to turn his luck around and run up front with his teammates in the modifieds. Certainly has a tall task ahead of him as Gaz is flawless through the funnel chute. Continues to gain more ground out of the turns. Gaza wins it by a track segment. And up next we have the Puffs Racing teammates of Baby Richie and Riot Isaac side by side towards the bottom of the split track. Looks like Baby Richie takes the lead from the inside. The first upset from the inner lane we've had so far. With just 2 races to go in the round of 16. Here we have 15th place Bobby Allison going up against 18th place Sparky Racer. Bobby Allison rockets out of the start gate. gets to the bottom of the split track before Sparky even comes off the ramp. Bobby Allison at his home track takes it by almost 2 track segments. Bobby Allison, he's been rocketing up the point standings. 2 podiums in the last 3 races after he couldn't stay off of his roof the first half of the season. Another awesome run for him, and now let's go back to the track. Our final race in the round of 16. Charlie Verney and Elton Sawyer side by side coming out of the funnel chute. Elton Sawyer with the ever slightest advantage heading towards the finish line. Beats Charlie Verney by less than half a car length. That was a good, clean race. We're going to slow this down. I had no idea who was going to win till they came out of the turns. And Elton Sawyer moves on to the round of 16, which we're kicking off with Baby Richie and our points leader, Clyde. And the gates are down. It's Clyde with the slightest of advantages heading towards the bottom of the split track. He's got about a car length lead in the funnel chute, but Baby Richie's not making it easy for him. Stays glued to his back bumper, but runs out of real estate. Clyde moves on to the round of 8. Now let's see which one of these T-Birds, Burt Buzzard or Elton Sawyer, is going to join him, and it's going to be Burt Buzzard. He is flying away. Track segment plus lead. Burt Buzzard to the round of 8. And up next, we have a pair of cars trending upward in the points. Lucky Jackson and Bobby Allison, both with a pair of podiums in the last 4 races. Both still looking for that first career win. And Bobby Allison with a car length plus lead. Got a little loose at the funnel chute, but throws a perfect block on Lucky Jackson. Bobby Allison's going to take it into the Elite 8. And our next race in this round of 16 is going to be the 2 Barora Bangers teammates, Gaza going up against Gale Force. And Gaza gets a great jump on the inside lane, gets squirrely coming out of the funnel chute, blocks his teammate, takes a 2-car length lead into the Elite 8. And up next, we have Gray for Sloppy Bear Racing going up against Puffs Racing's Misty G. And the gates are down. There's no clear favorite yet in this one. Side by side heading towards the bottom of the split track. And it's still a dead heat heading into the funnel chute. And Gray can't clear Misty G in time. He gets reverse side drafted, gets beached on the wall. A DNF for Gray. Misty G moves on to the Elite 8. And let's see if Puff, her teammate, can do the same against Lord Raymond, but it looks like he might need a miracle. Lord Raymond gets a great run off of turns 1 and 2 while Puff loses all of his momentum. It's going to be Lord Raymond moving on to the round of 8. And up next, we have Heather going up against Harry Hoon. Both of these drivers racing in the shadow of championship contenders. It's going to be a close one. They're still side by side heading into the funnel chute. Heather and Harry trading paint, but neither of them will give the other an inch, and it's Harry Hoon by a bumper length. We got to slow this one down. This is the closest finish we've seen yet today. Still side by side coming out of the turn, literally a millimeter ahead of Heather. Picks up that burst of speed right before the finish line. What an incredible finish. Now let's see what Po Boy and J-Bo are capable of. The gates are down. Po Boy with a half a car length lead over J-Bo heading into the funnel chute. J-Bo tries a pit maneuver on Po Boy, but he straightens right out. Po Boy by a car length. And that was the final race of the Sweet 16. So now we're going to kick off the Elite 8 with 2 Uncle Elvis teammates. And Bobby Allison, look at that jump he got out of the start gate. This flies right past his teammate, the points leader, Clyde. Clyde catches up a little bit in the turns, but it's not enough. Bobby Allison to the Final 4. Up next, we got a pair of Australian superstars here. Gaza going up against Burt Buzzard. Both of them have a win so far this season. Burt actually has 2. Gaza tries to pit maneuver Burt Buzzard, but slams himself into the catch fence. He was running behind anyway, but that's a costly mistake. Thankfully, that wasn't in the first round. It's going to be Burt Buzzard moving on to the Final 4. And up next, we have Misty G going up against Lord Raymond. They're side by side, heading towards the bottom of the split track. It's a dead heat. Misty G throws a block. It might be too early, but she straightens herself back out, moves on to the Final 4. And our last group of cars in the round of 8, we've got Harry Hoon going up against Po Boy, and the gates are down. Harry Hoon with a half a car length lead heading into this fat track. Now he gets sideways. This is dangerous. He's blocking Po Boy in the middle of the turn, straightens himself out at the last second. And now we're down to 4 drivers for the pole position. Bobby Allison going up against Burt Buzzard, only one of 2 drivers to win 2 races so far this year. And Burt Buzzard is too fast for Bobby Allison. His Cinderella run ends right now. Burt Buzzard will be facing either his teammate Harry Hoon or Misty G for the pole. And the gates are down. Harry and Misty are side by side heading towards the bottom of the ramp. They're both flawless through the funnel chute, beating and banging heading into the turn. Harry Hoon reverse side drafts Misty G. He'll be on the inside. Burt Buzzard on the outside in the race for the pole. And the gates are down. Mark D's got to be proud of his drivers right now. Either way, one of his cars is going to be on the pole. Burt Buzzard clears Harry Hoon, but then Harry Hoon gets his back bumper, dumps him off the side of the track. Harry certainly needs that pole more than Burt does, as you see their season stats on the screen. Maybe a little bit of jealousy factored into that, but it's going to be Harry Hoon, your pole sitter. And up next, we have the races to avoid the 0-2 bracket. That was Szechuan Broccoli takes it over Riot Isaac, and Charlie Verney over Hurt So Good. And the gates are down for Sloppy Bear and Sparky Racer. And that one was actually pretty good. We're going to show you this on the replay. Sloppy Bear and Sparky Racer zoomed in. They're side by side. Sloppy Bear with a half a car length lead heading into the funnel chute. Lots of contact between the funnel chute and the turns. Sparky Racer with the reverse side draft on the outside. Some great driving by Sparky Racer right there. And it looks like it's going to be Chef Squid over William. Now let's see if the other Evernham car, Casey Kane, can avoid that fate. It looks like Casey Kane over Lord Shank. And now it's Bill Z Bub going up against Mike Honcho. Another good one. Looks like Mike Honcho got it at the end. We're going to show you this on the replay too. More beating and banging heading into the turns. Mike Honcho, flawless reverse side draft. And Riot Isaac's the highest driver in points in the 0-2 brackets so far. He takes advantage of that opportunity against Gavin McSpadge, moves out of the 0-2 bracket. And here are the draws for 4th place and beyond. There's the drivers that lost in the Elite 8 right there. Points leader Clyde takes advantage of the Golden Horseshoe, gets a good draw there. And Elton Sawyer gets the Ace of Spades for the drivers that lost in the round of 16. Riot Isaac's second chance to get out of the 0-2 bracket doesn't matter very much, as he draws a 2. And it looks like Hurt So Good is going to have the high draw for the 0-2 bracket, although all of these guys are going to have a bad starting spot. Sloppy Bear and Bill Z Bub both drew a 4 of clubs, so there's a race for 1 position there. And here is your last chance races. The Owlman going up against 2 of the stocks. It's 3 wide. The modified drivers start in 2nd place, and it's simple. You finish the lap, you're in the race. You don't finish the lap, you miss the race. Owlman, Richie, and Coffee Tart finish their lap. Now it's Christy, Tristan Racewelski, and Chase Elliott. See what they can do here. And there's some trouble in the funnel chute. Caution's out for an El Reco. Chase Elliott's on his roof. Christy's on her roof. Tristan stalls in the middle of the track. That's a triple DNQ for that one. And G-Force Racing's other car, Giorgio, both DNF'd in the round of 32. Giorgio needs to finish this lap, or both of his cars are going to DNQ for this race. Giorgio clears the field heading into the funnel chute. Smooth as butter. Gets knocked loose by Crazy Ruby, but he recovers, and all 3 are going to finish their lap. And here are the draws for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place finishers of those last chance races. Directly diagonal from our pole sitter, Harry Hoon. Great starting spot by Bobby Allison and Elton Sawyer. The front half of the field, and we only have 35 qualifiers because of that triple DNF in the last chance race. The smallest field since the Daytona 500. Ironic because it's coming on the biggest track. It's going to be a great race. The points margin is razor thin right now.